What's going on, my YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Omar Pineda, your Austin realtor with eXp Realty, and we are back in the city of Georgetown, Texas, in a community called Oaks at San Gabriel, and the builder we're looking at is Brightland Homes. Now, this is a beautiful, stunning one-story floor plan called the Juniper by Brightland Homes, and it starts in the low 400s at $434,990. This one is currently for sale at $484,990 because there are a couple upgrades that the builder decided to do. Now, this floor plan is 4 beds, 3 baths, a little over 2,000 square feet. It does include a home office, and it has a 2-car garage. Now, in here, we're standing in the casual dining / great room. Now, for my folks who love an open concept, this floor plan would check that box. I know some buyers kind of want to see more of a divide when it comes to like the dining area from the living area. So there are floor plans like that exist. But just note for this floor plan, this is the great room. That's what we're standing in, which would serve as the living space. That's open concept, so you could see everything. You can see the dining room area that's right there across the living room. And this community is, I believe, all electric. Yes, so that's an electric 5-top stove. And one thing I like about Brightland Homes is they, for the most part, from what I've seen, always go above and beyond with the little touches, like that deep sink that we just saw. They one of the few that use frigid air appliances, and I'm a big fan of frigid air. I think they're pretty good vendor when it comes to home appliances, and I just like the edges. I think it looks very sharp. It definitely gives me that high-end feel with a lot of their especially with what they decided to do with their kitchen. Now, this is a very nice size walk-in pantry. Sometimes you don't even get to walk in. Sometimes it's just the pantry itself, so that's nice. I mean, for over almost close to 2,200 square feet, they really maximize the space to really give you a proper walk-in pantry, a very big owner suite that we're standing in right now. And this owner suite is 13 by 17, I believe, according to their floor plan online. And we always like to have the master bedroom or the owner suite and towards the back half of the home, because better for privacy, better for noise. This one does come with a ceiling fan. You'll notice in some new construction homes that the ceiling fans doesn't always come in all the bedrooms. Typically you see that in the living room and the primary bedroom, but not every time. But the builder decided to include it this time. We do have a nice shower and tub combo, and his and her sinks. And I believe the walk-in closet is connected to the bathroom, and you just have one humongous walk-in closet. That walk-in shower isn't the biggest, I must say. In person, it wasn't the biggest. I've definitely seen a little bit bigger, so that's something to note. Huge walk-in closet. I mean, you have 3 tiers of clothing racks that you can stack up. So very spacious, very spacious. You can definitely have space for those big winter coats, because it does get chilly here during the winter time here in Georgetown. And it rains. It can rain during the winter season. Now, we're going to be making our way from the owner suite back through the great room and casual dining area and make our way towards the very front half of the home, so we can check out the remaining 3 bedrooms plus that home office. Now, in the floor plan, it says flex. A flex space can be one or two things, a home office or another bedroom. And the builder decided to create a home office. And we're going to take a look at that here in a second. So on this side of the house, which is like the same size as the primary bedroom, right? You have these other two remaining bedrooms that have a shared bath that we're going to see here in a second. So this would be good for the kids because it has a shared bath that with just one sink. Now, that is an option to build a second sink, but the builder did not decide to do that. But that's something you could totally do in the future if that one sink is not enough. Because usually, it's nice to have 2 sinks that's shared between 2 bedrooms. Now, a little bit of facts about this community. The the tax rate, is 2.33%. That's not too bad. I always say it's better than 2.5, but kind of getting up there. But with the pricing and the incentives, we can make the numbers work to get you to that very comfortable mortgage payment that you want. So we definitely can help with the incentives will help with that. So here's a shared bath that would be shared between these 2 bedrooms that we just saw. It's a full bath. I like the tile work. Now this community, I would say, is definitely a little bit on the higher end because it's neighbors. Your neighbor, not too far away, Cimarron Hills, is nothing but $1 million listings, and you will be sharing, you're sharing the neighborhood with them. So that's why Brightland Homes did a little bit of extra things to make this feel like a very high end home, and without the high end price tag. Now here is that home office I was talking about. You have the beautiful French doors. It's a little bit weird that they decided to do carpet instead of just the vinyl flooring, because that's typically what you see for a home office, not so much carpet. But that tells me like, hey, maybe you can turn that into, maybe not a bedroom if you had to change the doors, but you can make that into another flexible space. Now here's a utility room that's going to connect us to the 2-car garage. Now notice that the garage is finished. Notice that there is a garage door opener, and notice that there is full irrigation. That's a control panel to the right hand side, and then there's your 50-gallon tank water heater along with your water softening loop. Remember, that's just the connection. You still have to buy the unit, the whole system itself, but it's nice when the builder already pre-installs the water softening loop, so you can have that as an option when you move in. Now, I think I said that frigid air are the appliances for this builder that they have, and if you notice that we're missing a washer and a dryer, but that's something we can ask for during the negotiation. And there's a whole strategy behind that I'm going to talk about here in a second. Now here is the bedroom that's closest to the front. Now my only critique is I wish they would have made this into a home office, because from all the buyers I've shown houses to, they typically want the very front bedroom to be a home office because they like having the street as something to look at. Typically, we're going to see here in a second, the home office was kind of on the side of the house, so your viewpoint is your neighbor's wall, and that's not always that's not the most ideal scenario if you're working from home. You want to have a nice view. So here is the shared bath between the other 2 bedrooms. So that's very nice. That's very functional. You have one shared bathroom between 2 bedrooms. So not everyone's going to be fighting for a bathroom because the way that Brightland Homes laid this out. So it's very nice. This home does have a front covered porch and a nice covered back patio. And that's going to be so important because here in Georgetown, in Austin, Texas, it gets hot. It gets very hot and humid, but you're going to want to hang out outside, especially if you're barbecuing during the summer months and you want to be in some shade. And these covered back patios is going to come in clutch for that. Now, notice that the backyard isn't as spacious, and that's typical of what you'll find in a 1-story home. In the 1-story homes, you're going to have usually a smaller backyard as opposed to a 2-story home. Okay, but for some they don't want to do a whole lot of yard maintenance, so this would be a huge win. And so this was a Juniper by Brightland Homes over here in Georgetown, Texas, at the community Oaks at San Gabriel. Now, this one of the big selling points for this community are the amenities and the surrounding area, because back there you're gonna that is a nature preserve that's not gonna change. So you're gonna have miles and miles and miles of walking trails for walking your dog, going bike riding. I mean, you have this amenity pool. There's even like a nice little shallow end for the kids, and you have the kids playground, and you can see those ponds, those that we kind of oversaw. Those are the retention ponds. So for all my folks that are worried about drainage and the heavy rains that we get, that's exactly what those retention ponds are for. I've actually seen people fish from there, but I don't think they stock it. Cause I remember when I asked, they didn't know what I was talking about, if those were stocked fishing ponds. I just saw people fishing there with their rods when I was touring the community. So let me know in the comments if you've caught a fish there, or if it's something that the community, if it is an actual legit stocked fishing pond, or if it's just a retention pond. So that was your Juniper. And let me just show you really quickly a couple of other things around this area. A big selling point for this area is because Oaks at San Gabriel is one of the few that actually has a dedicated stoplight right? So it won't be a pain in the butt if you need to enter or exit this community. And I say that because if you look here off Highway 29, all these little orange icons are other builders in the area, and not every one of these communities has a dedicated stoplight. So in order to enter and exit, you kind of have to go fast and peel out, because everyone going on Highway 29, if you're going in either direction, is going pretty fast. So that can be a little bit of an anxiety kind of thing if you have to deal with that every day. But that's something you would not have to deal with, and that's a big plus for this community, Oaks at San Gabriel, is because you have a dedicated stoplight. This green area, this is all trees that we kind of saw earlier with the drone shot. And then you have this preserve here that's protected. So it's protected park, protected trails that's going to be right at your doorstep, right in your backyard, I should say. So that's very nice. And over here, this is Cimarron Hills. Cimarron Hills is a high luxury, $1 million homes, and you're going to be right next to it. So that's a very nice area. And the location's pretty prime in the sense that you're kind of like right in the middle. So you're going to have options, whether if you want to go to HEB over here in Leander, or if you want to go to HEB over here in Wolf Ranch. They're both nice, and I would say this one looks a little bit closer to me, but it'd be nice. It's nice to have options, right? And then if you come over here, there's a big Costco opening up very soon. This is more going to pertain to Leander and Liberty Hill, but it's not that far off from where this community is located, right? And again, you're gonna not have immediate access to major highways like I-35 or 183, but you're gonna be close. You're gonna be close. I mean, the views and the location in the surrounding area is gonna make up for that. It's definitely something you should drive yourself to see how long that would take you from here to 183 and from here to I-35, especially if you have to commute to work. But the point is, like, you have options. It's always nice to have more than one way to get to work, and that's just if you take the major highways. You could take Ronald Reagan to go north to south too. So there's multiple options, which is always a plus if you have to commute to work. Now, if you want to tour this home, do a private tour, or work with me, a big part of why you want to work with me is because I specialize in new construction. And remember, not all real estate agents are created equally. I not only keep a pulse in all these new construction builds and communities and all the builders, and have made a ton, built a very good relationship with a lot of the salespeople. So that way I stay up to date with all the incentives. I understand the strategy of how to combine and maximize the incentives, so we can either bring down your interest rate for your mortgage and keep those monthly payments low, or maybe pay all of those closing costs and get some other things that I know we can that the builders are offering, because I pay attention to all the trends of what the builders are offering, because I'm in all the email chains, and I know that the salespeople will reach out to us first, as opposed to like just letting it and updating the MLS, updating Zillow, because it's a lot quicker for them to do an email blast to us, agents that have already worked with them in the past, than just having to go through their IT to update the website or what have you. So their timing is everything when it comes to these incentives, and working with the agent that knows how to get an answer very quickly or stay up to date with the latest and greatest is going to save you time and not have you leave money on the table. Because when I'm running the comps for these communities and to see what to offer, I see what other people paid for, and I'm like, you guys, some people are leaving money on the table. They are leaving money on the table, and you don't want to be one of them. You don't want to be one of them, because I know every penny counts, and I know you want to maximize your incentives and get really good terms and get the best price for your home. And that's something I can totally help you get there as your professional real estate agent. Okay, so I'll have all my information linked in the description. You can call or text me, or even set up a discovery call through the link. I love discovery calls, so we can take a little bit dive deeper if you want to see the numbers. If you're a numbers person or a data person, I can really go dive deeper into the numbers, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, because I am very good with Google Sheets, and you'll see just during my presentation how deep we dive into the numbers, because I'm a big fan of pivot tables too. And the pivot tables, if you know how to use them, you can get a lot of good talk. You can make data driven decisions, is what I'm saying. All right, so hey, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with all things new construction and get an inside look, and not just the floor plan, but a little bit of what the surrounding area looks like. That's how I kind of frame my videos. I do the home tour, and then towards the end of the video, after you see the beautiful drone shots, we'll look at the surrounding area so I can show you what's happening, and you can see my nice little Google map, because I'm a very visual person, and I know a lot of people who are watching me are very visual people. So I know when you see it, you'll learn it a little bit better, and that, just know that that's my entire process throughout this thing. Is I use video to help educate, not just on YouTube, but I send private videos on my other YouTube channel that my clients get exclusive access to. So I'm educating with video, and I have found that video is probably the best way for everybody to get on the same page, and that way there's very little room for interpretation, right? Because with the visuals in the back and me explaining it just like this, how you're seeing now, it really helps people really just connect the dots. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next one.